Welcome back, softies, for another episode of the Soft Knocks podcast.
Welcome to the fucking show.
What is this, episode 10? What is this?
Yeah, that's
Wow.
actually kind of nice. It's episode 10.
Double digits?
Didn't even think about that. It's a special episode.
What do you want to talk about, Jason? Well, should we get into the maybe NFL real quick?
Yeah.
The playoffs are rolling on.
I can't believe. So the last time we talked
my
was
dreams
before
Dallas.
the wild card weekend.
Yeah.
Because it was before the old man league party. And what a fucking disappointment.
That was one of the worst Sundays of my life as far as I was brutally hungover.
Oh, yeah.
From that old man party. And the Cowboys just got their ass beaten. I should have known.
I have no business, putting any picks out there for anyone. Ever. I should never say.
I can't remember the other game. What was it? The Lions.
Well, the Cleveland game, Joe Flacco turned into
a pumpkin.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Kansas City, we kind of.
The Buffalo game. Who did Kansas City play?
Well, Buffalo beat Pittsburgh on Monday.
Yeah, that was an easy one. But who did Kansas City play?
Miami.
Yeah, I think we
picked that one.
We did.
But I was kind of hoping the other way.
You were thinking the under, I think, mostly on that. It just felt like all of the games that I thought would go the way, I thought that was easy picks, and then it was just hopes and dreams.
Nothing with Dallas is easy.
The Dallas one is another big surprise. I thought for sure, for as much shit as we give you for being a Dallas fan, I thought for sure, this was the year they make it to the NFC Championship. Could not say
they're
they
never
would
going
go
to
to
get
the Super Bowl, but I thought for sure they were going to get up there. They had home games. I thought the defense would show up.
Yeah.
And
the offense wasn't great either, but the defense was the problem. They could not stop them at all.
Yeah.
Hopefully Quinn's gone. I think he is.
Yeah, I think there's been talk.
He's got a second interview with Seattle, gigs. I think. So, but
yeah, it was just a rough weekend of games.
Yeah, that was a bummer game. That really was. I was looking.
The old man party was a blast as usual.
That was.
The next day was a rough one. I don't sleep a wink when I drink like that, and so yeah.
The bar afterwards, we stayed quite a while there actually.
We did because I think your friends came. I think we were texting them at 11.
Yeah.
And we left at 1.
Yeah.
I got home and the Uber drops me off my driveway, takes off, and I can't get the garage thing to
and it's
work.
negative 10 out.
Yeah. Freaking cold out. I'm out there in my I'm out there in a foot of snowdrift up against my garage trying to punch in the code, and the thing's not lighting up because I think it's just too cold. Yeah. And so I call my wife, and she was just thrilled because she's like, I already told you that I just left the front door unlocked, you idiot. So, yeah, the front door was
She was
unlocked.
up, though. That's impressive. Or that she heard the phone,
I don't know. She might have been up. She stays up kind of late. She's a night owl. So, yeah, that was all fun. And then, yeah, I was just tired, real tired.
Yeah, I was more
Sunday.
tired. I shouldn't say, I wasn't, throwing up or anything. It just,
no,
very tired.
No desire to do anything.
Yeah, David wanted to have a few during the Dallas game, and I just didn't feel like it. I just couldn't get so.
Yeah.
And that game just sucked. I'm done. I'm gonna find a new team. Maybe the Bears. They got a loaded draft coming.
Oh man, I hope so. I don't know what to think about the Bears yet. The offensive coordinator they hired, he is not. That does not indicate one way or the other which way they're going to go.
I don't know if it's true. I saw a report that Harbaugh had interest in.
I've seen a news story. Who knows? But
coaching that Williams guy, but they decided to stick with Eberflus.
Yes.
If that's true, that's kind of. That very well might not be true, though.
I don't think the coach did a great job or anything, but I'm getting tired of the. Every couple years, we have to turn the head coach over and all that stuff. At least with the same head coach, we've probably got the same offensive
He actually
philosophy.
did a decent job. It's just if Harbaugh really wanted to go, I would have chosen him. But
yeah, he's won everywhere he's been.
Any other option, I think it's best just to stand pat.
Him coming back to the NFL to coach the Chargers, he's now the most winningest coach, active coach in the NFL.
Really,
right now.
immediately.
He hasn't been there in a while, but
No.
he's already leading the pack.
No, he'll do well there. Herbert will probably go way too high in drafts next year, though. Fantasy.
Probably.
I don't know.
Probably.
But he should be pretty good.
I saw something, I think it was on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. And they were talking about, somebody was saying, like, you know, Harbaugh signing there, they need to do the fix the roster. And they had like Saquon Barkley going there as a free agent.
Whew. Doesn't he want to get, like, paid? Or
Yeah, he's a free agent.
I don't know if I'd pay for a running back, though,
Probably
anymore.
not.
But he is good.
So that would be interesting, though.
Yeah. I could see
Yep, but-
Derrick Henry. Oh, he's getting up there, but
He might be a cheaper option.
way cheap. I think he'd be way cheaper, yeah.
He's kind of one-dimensional, though. I don't know what the offensive line is like for the Chargers, and his style, I would imagine, would work better in a good offensive
Yeah.
line situation.
But next year's Dallas' year, I'm certain.
Yeah, and then so that was 2 weeks ago, and then we didn't do any recording last week, and then the games last week were pretty good. I mean,
Yeah, they were.
like
Chiefs Bills was very good. Niners
Chiefs Bills was
that
good.
one was good.
Niners
Packers.
was a good game. It came down to the end. Who else? Tampa
The one
Bay.
that wasn't was Baltimore did what they were supposed to do. They killed
Yeah.
the Texans, but yeah, Tampa Lions was pretty good.
Yeah. So I mean, those were some good games. I mean, the 49ers game we watched. I was watching that. I was playing poker, and the game was on. That one was a really good.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
watching that with at Anthony's, and I like live bet the Packers. I thought we were gonna. I actually felt a little better watching them. Like they are pretty good.
Yeah.
I can't. I thought they'd get murdered. Actually,
It's like so demoralizing as a Bears
Pack.
fan. Just like for them to go from Favre to Rodgers to now it looks like Love might be another.
he's gonna be
hit.
good. I don't know if he'll be that level yet, but he's gonna be good. He already is good.
This just the fact that they've had this natural flow and haven't had to go through any struggles is infuriating.
They've all sat a couple years,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
not a lot of teams do that anymore.
That might be
almost no one.
the key.
You know.
No, he looks pretty good. And Purdy, I thought he started ugly. Started real ugly for him. But
Oh,
he played well in that last quarter.
Maybe the Bears should draft Caleb Williams and keep Fields and make Caleb sit.
Wouldn't be the worst idea. Caleb would
Develop
be
him
such
for
a
at least a
diva
year.
about sitting, though.
I know. Maybe you have to pick a different one to do that.
Yeah, trade down. Get Drake May, maybe, or something.
Yeah. I mean, they could. I mean, theoretically, they could draft Marvin Harrison Jr. right at the top, and then take a QB at 9.
You mean the number 1 overall pick?
Yeah.
Well, you'd want to get some kind of
Yeah, you'd love to
draft
trade
capital.
down.
Capital. I can't even talk. Capital. You wouldn't want to just waste that on Harrison, I don't think.
No, you wouldn't. But if you couldn't, I'm just saying that you could
Yeah.
have those too, regardless of what picks you're at. It'd be nice to have some extra draft capital, but
Yeah, they got a lot of options. It'll be interesting. So who do you got this weekend? It's
the
Niners,
NFC
Lions.
AFC Championships, right? Mm-hmm. Which one plays Saturday? Do they both play on Sunday?
They both Sunday. The
Okay.
early is I think the Chiefs are the early one. I might be wrong on that, but
Oh, that's a good question. I mean,
it is early. I know that. Chiefs are the earlier one, like 3:30.
Okay. I think that the Ravens are the better football team.
I do too, but
There's just so much of this, like, I know that there is no NFL script. Like, I know that's not a
Oh,
real
there you go.
thing.
they
right?
want Taylor at the Super Bowl.
But it is so weird how some of this stuff shakes out sometimes.
It
You
is.
know? A team like the Chiefs, with all that they've got going on, the different storylines, and you know, like even like Jason Kelsey retiring and then him being like the everyman up there pounding beers shirtless, right? Like,
With a bunch of like snobby rock stars, like
I know, but like
it's just funny. Like
it's just too perfect for
know.
the NFL. But I'll stick to my guns. I think that Baltimore wins. And as much as I would love to see Detroit get to the Super Bowl, I just think the 49ers are a better team.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I do like the Lions with the spread though.
What is the spread?
It went up to 7.
Should be. It shouldn't be a.
They're a pretty tough team.
Blowout.
Yeah, no, I don't think it will be. But as far as the other one, yeah, everything tells me Ravens. But in the back of my mind, there's that. And then they got a new ref crew they assigned that the road team wins 60% of the time with him.
60% of the time, it works
Every
every time.
So what I'm trying to say is I'm going to bet my house on Mahomes, I think. And I don't like the guy, but my God, every year he started was...
What's the spread?
It went up to... Well, as I heard, it got up to 4.
4? I don't know the exact, but... And so they're getting 4 points in Baltimore.
And the dude, like I said, I don't like him, but he is good.
Baltimore has been a better football team all year long.
All year, yeah.
But to be honest, like Kansas City's a good football team. They got
with the best player, probably.
Yeah, I think if their receivers could learn to catch, like this wouldn't even be a question. It would be.
Well, even that Scantling caught a few last week, and a few big ones. So I don't know.
It'll be interesting.
But yeah, every year that guy started Mahomes, he's been in at least the NFC Championship. That's amazing.
I know. I saw something. It was like somebody said, "There's a 12-year-old out there right now who's going to be playing Mahomes and
catching balls from him.
Yeah, you're catching balls from Mahomes in the AFC Championship 10 years from now."
Yeah, it's wild. But yeah, I think I'd probably go Ravens Niners.
That's the easy pick.
I know that's the easy pick, but
I don't disagree. I as far as who I'm going to root for, that's even tougher.
Oh, you'll root for Brock
I'll
Purdy.
be rooting for the 49ers. I will. But even then, I think Baltimore is the best team of this 4.
Yeah, both
I think
sides
Lamar
of the
Jackson's
ball.
the MVP.
Yeah.
And I think they're the best team, and I think they win the Super Bowl. But I'll be rooting for the 49ers. I'd love to see Detroit get there. That city, they probably deserve it. They've had some tough times.
It's Detroit.
But I think
something to be happy about. I don't know. It'll be tough, but
4 good teams. Anything could happen.
Yeah.
Really, I think. Yeah. But I would say Baltimore Niners. Baltimore wins the Super Bowl. That'd be my picks. Probably means bet the house on Detroit.
Lions, Chiefs.
Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
I did see Taylor Swift has a concert in Japan that Super Bowl day. So that they wouldn't be able to get her the Super Bowl. So that might take the conspiracy part out of it.
So they just needed to get the Chiefs to the as far as they could.
Yeah, I bet she'll probably be in Baltimore. Yeah, she might get shot. I don't know. It might happen.
Oh man.
Oh. Do you want to do a movie review real quick?
We can talk about this movie. I don't know if we talked about it on the last.
We did.
Pod
You said you were going to watch
Although maybe I edited it out. I don't know. But
yeah, I can't remember.
I watched Saltburn by myself because I couldn't be sure that the wife would enjoy it, and I certainly couldn't watch it around the kids.
No.
And I don't know what to think. Like, I could understand why you would like the movie. Like, it does have, there's some twists in it. There's a lot of unexpected stuff. It's very different. Like, most movies out there are just repeats of something else.
Yes.
Although, I did see something on Twitter where somebody compared it to The Talented Mr. Ripley. So I thought about going back and watching that just
Matt
to see
Damon?
how. Yeah.
Jude Law?
I think it was Matt Damon.
Okay,
but I don't think that went to this extent.
Well, no. What makes this so shocking is the scenes.
And it's just
what I was trying to explain to people is I'm not some pervert who like the licking.
Oh, we know which scenes you rewound.
The drinking of the spoiler alert bathtub water with jizz
God.
in it, and
that was the most.
But the story I thought was good.
That was the most shocking thing I think I've ever watched.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
Or just the like.
How about at the period
angst
part?
you feel. Yeah, that. Yes.
You're like, that's nothing. You do that all the time. You're a bit of a
No.
vampire.
It is shocking. It is gross. It's just shock and awe. Like, if you took those scenes out, right, would anybody be talking about the movie?
No, that's probably why they did it.
Right?
I think they would have said, "Oh, it's a nice thriller with a twist."
Did you know that the
Not to mention the end scene.
Did you know that the graveyard scene was not scripted? That actor told the director or whatever that he wanted to try something and he needed to clear the like everybody out except the camera people or whatever, and that's what he did.
First time I saw the movie, which there's a problem right there. I've seen it twice because I watched it with JD too. But he was just standing there. I'm like, he's not gonna do this, is he? And then I see him unbutton his pants and go and start sticking it in the grave.
It's just
so yeah. Go ahead and watch that if you haven't, guys.
Yeah, it is just. I mean,
imagine that guy's like family going to see that movie with him. Well, they don't care. You got paid a lot, but Jesus.
Oh, man. Imagine like he has kids, and then later on, like, hey, did you know your dad was the guy that fucked a grave?
And his dick flopping around it for 5 minutes at the end.
I just what a brutally in your face movie. I mean, it was. I guess it was worth the watch. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I didn't shut it off. I had ample time to shut it off. I mean, when it started, I was kind of like, what is so great about this movie? You know,
there's nothing great. It was more of the shock.
Yeah, I know. But
and the little twist. There.
Why is anybody talking about this movie? Like when I first started watching it, because
it took a while to get.
School,
yeah.
You know? At the end, when you learn the twists and turns of the whole thing, it's just like that's.
I mean, he was evil.
That's like that makes it worth it to have watched it, because then you see this twist and you're like, oh, like those shock and awe scenes are there to shock you, but you kind of see it at the end.
Look beyond that. I thought the story is okay, but
yeah, Mia was asking me about the movie.
I don't know.
I was like, where did you hear about that movie? And she's like, well, it's all over.
It's all over
the Fire Stick advertisements, and somebody from her work was talking about it. And I was like, well, Frankie was talking about it, so I watched it. She goes, oh, you watched it? I'm like, yeah. Like I didn't think that you'd really like it, so I just watched it.
Maybe she's into that stuff.
And I said, if you want to watch it, I guess I'll watch it again. I mean, Frankie watched it twice.
Yeah.
We haven't watched it.
I plan to watch it later tonight. No, I think it was worth a watch, though. But yeah, fucked up. Very fucked up movie.
Considering what's available to watch these days, like it's you'd be hard pressed to keep me away from watching almost anything. They had some rough spots where I really was like, I may just have to fast forward through this. I'm not sure.
You mean pause it?
I'm not sure that I can really watch this. And it just like some of those scenes went on too long. Right?
Oh, it was too long of a movie. I agree.
We get it. We get it.
Yeah. No, they
just fade away here to the next scene.
Especially
please.
the second time I was looking at my watch, like, all right, you probably didn't need that in there, but
yeah, no, there's certainly no way I'd be able to. I don't know.
Movie. That's our softy movie review. Yeah. We'll have to do that again. I don't think we'll get one that shocking, but.
Did you see the trailer for the new Roadhouse movie?
Yes, I was fully erect the entire time. Holy shit, that looks awesome.
Oh man, do you think
Conor McGregor's in it? Yeah.
Do you think like Flick's Brewhouse would let us bring the mics in to the?
Yeah. I think they would. Yeah, Gyllenhaal just got ripped again for this. I don't know how these actors do it, but I mean steroids probably.
Well, it's their job.
I know.
If I could, if I didn't have anything else to do with my time, and I could afford to just have a chef and a private trainer and all the gym stuff that I needed, and
Access
and
to
I had the
steroids.
willingness, and I could easily
Look like Jake Gyllenhaal.
yeah, probably better.
Yeah. But yeah, I saw that one is available just to rent on. Like, you don't have to go to the theater.
Oh, is it
Prime.
already available?
No, the 21st,
Oh,
but you can just
okay.
like immediately buy it on Prime. But
Oh, we could do that. Then.
yeah,
We could just do
yeah,
it.
that's right.
We could do a showing here.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah, it looks. I mean, it's probably gonna be corny, but speaking of corny, I saw with my dad the most recent Jason Statham one,
what's
the
it
Beekeeper.
called? Oh yeah, I've heard of it, but
I say corny, but it was awesome. Like,
they're all awesome.
I mean, he's a one-man wrecking crew, like totally.
It's like the Fast and the Furious
Yeah.
franchise. You know what you're getting.
Yeah, you got to know what you're getting. Like people would probably bash it because they're like, that can't happen. Well, no shit, it can't happen, but it's awesome.
Yeah, that's what.
And the
that
fight
sounds a lot
scenes.
like my kids when they're like, "How is that possible?" I'm like, "It's a movie. It's scripted. Like,
It's not.
it's not possible."
The entire FBI and Secret Service could not kill one man. Like, he just was just mowing through them.
Oh, man.
But it was
He
good.
made some really good movies.
Statham?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's-
I mean, just for what they are,
Yeah, he's kind of like a
straight up action.
Stallone type actor. Yeah,
Do you have
I like him.
Do you have Hulu?
Yeah.
Do you see all of like the Nicolas Cage like C movies that are out there?
Did he do like 100 in the past year? I haven't
Yeah, I
heard of
think
a
so.
lot of them,
I
but
think so.
I've seen a few of them.
He must have had some serious legal and financial
I
issues.
think he did.
He's like, hey guys, like can I just put out like 200 movies? You guys can pay me like, $500,000 a movie.
Don't care what they're about.
Don't care.
just give
It
me
could
a
be the same
script.
thing.
Do what I do.
Whatever you need me to do.
Yeah, it's not quite leaving Las Vegas anymore. It's
No. Or The Rock or Con Air.
oh,
Even the stupid ones were great back then.
Honeymoon in Vegas. That was a good one.
Oh, man.
We might have to move to a movie podcast with football ending here. I don't know.
The research is easier.
Way easier. Yeah.
Just turn the movies on.
So it turns out Halliburton did not tear both his hamstrings. He's back playing.
Oh.
The way it looked and the way they carried him off, I thought he was done for like ever.
So he just had to amputate his legs.
I mean, they
at the hip.
carried him like a baby off the court.
Well, he is the best player in the NBA.
He probably is top 5 right now. He's really good.
I mean,
Well, maybe not top 5.
LeBron, Jordan, Halliburton. I don't know who the best is ever.
Definitely not LeBron. We don't want to be one of those podcasts, though. LeBron or Jordan.
Yeah, that's because the whole conversation. This goes with pretty much every sport. The conversation of who the greatest is of all time doesn't work
No.
because they play different games. Basketball today is not basketball when Jordan played. It's not basketball from when, the other
Bill Russell.
Yeah, it's like it's just a different game. The same goes for football. The same goes for baseball. The same goes for even golf. Like it's all
The new
everything's
age
just
people
different.
get really triggered when you say that. I'm not saying that these guys wouldn't be able to be great in those eras, but it is different. Like the fouls and everything's 3-pointers today, where they did not emphasize that at all. Like Larry Bird was probably one of the best shooters ever. He really did not shoot very many threes because that was not how the game was played back then. It was
So
how to
let's
set
talk
it up.
about we talked about topics for this week, and you brought up second acts. So
in sports.
So like people who
Shout out to Anthony who gave us this idea.
I knew right away. So like I woke up on what was that? That was
it was
Saturday night,
Sunday.
right?
Yeah, I put it in the notes.
Yeah. So I get on my computer Sunday morning and I get a notes pop up that says the topic. And I'm like, oh yeah, he was at Anthony's. This is certainly an Anthony topic. So the idea is What are some of the most famous or your favorite second acts? Thinking like,
We're not talking about come back from injury either. We're talking about
yeah. So I wasn't sure what you meant for sure. So like I was
we
looking.
could do that too, but I think this is more fun.
I think
don't
the
know.
idea is like guys who got in trouble,
Yeah.
and then came back, and now we've just completely forgiven them.
Yeah, they don't like mention it anymore
Yeah.
when you bring them up.
Because like before we talked about it, like I was like, oh yeah, like I'll look up some of that stuff, and like the stuff that came up when you put in like second acts in sports,
More like
you get guys like
positive.
Michael Strahan, who's on
Yeah.
Good Morning America, or you get
Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao, who's a politician of sorts in
Mm-hmm.
his home country and whatnot, which is all well and good, and there's a lot of that's really good stuff, but
I want the more
and it's
pieces of
it's
shit.
not exactly easy to go back and find some of the obscure ones, but I did find some. What are some of your?
I think the easiest one to think of for me is somewhat recent. This is Mike Vick. We all know his story with the dogs, and he was just exiled there for a while.
Well, he went to jail.
Yeah, and when you mess with dogs, you don't normally get back in the good graces of
Yeah.
people.
Like, oh yeah, fuck with all the people you
Exactly,
want,
but when you hear
but don't fuck with our pets.
no, and all of a sudden I believe he was on a pregame show for a while, like cleaned up his act. He's did all this charity shit, and which good for him. But
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Well, I couldn't believe he came back and
Yeah, he played, right? Yeah,
right,
He was
like
pretty good.
Who else did he play? He played for the Eagles,
Yeah,
right? And he played for a number of years. You just think that like once you go out of the game like that, there's no coming back.
no,
It's just like once you leave the sport, like you're no longer there's new and better people that are back. It just shows you how good of an athlete he was.
yeah, he was in jail and came
Yeah.
back. And
Yeah,
I believe.
I guess all he did was work out.
Yeah, put me in jail. I could come back. That's all I had to do.
Yeah, that's a good one. What other ones did you come up with?
Another obvious one I think is Ray Lewis. Now I was
Yeah,
pretty young
yeah.
when this happened. I
I had to read it because I really didn't know all the particulars.
I still remember my dad coming up when I was in my room. He's like, "That Ray Lewis guy killed someone last night," and I'm like, "What?" And I had to read about it, and he ended up getting acquitted of everything, right? Like he didn't.
Yeah, from what I'd read,
So maybe he really didn't do it. That's what I don't want to like. Maybe he, but
it's like crazy, right? So like the details that I read were essentially like they never found the suit that he was wearing that night.
yeah.
They found the blood of the victims in his limo. He maintains that he didn't have anything to do with it.
And his boy took
But
a dive, right?
I think one of the things I read said that like the judge, like they ruled it like it self-defense. And right, so like
And the judge was a huge Ravens fan.
had a lot of money on the Ravens to win the next year's Super Bowl,
Which I think they
happened.
did. Yeah.
He was a defensive player of the year next year.
Yeah. See, blood in the limb. To me, it sounds like he did that, but
I mean, I think the most damning piece is that
the suit
his
was.
suit is gone. Now, it is possible that he didn't stab anybody, that his buddies did stab him, and he got blood. And then, like, man, you're in the NFL, like, even being there when something
Yeah,
like that
get
happens,
out of
like,
here.
especially if like those people are employed. You hear my air quotes, employed as like a bodyguard. If they're under your employ, you're responsible for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I could see where you could get freaked out and maybe you get rid of some evidence and all of that. But boy, it wouldn't surprise me if he just straight up murdered.
But that's another
somebody.
thing. You don't hear about it. Like I saw he was on the
No.
Manning cast the other week. Just
No. Time heals all wounds.
I guess so.
Yeah,
But-
that one was nuts. I mean, the fact is that he could have murdered a person. Even in now, maybe it was self-defense. I don't know what took place, but man, he could have stabbed someone. He could have ended someone's life.
He's kind of a scary man. I wouldn't have put it past him. But
Yeah. First of all, what idiots are messing with Ray Lewis?
I could see some drunken, liquored up boy just coming up and talking shit.
I guess.
Like, maybe trying to get like punched for money and it went way wrong.
Yeah.
How about you? You got a couple?
I got a bunch. I was trying to think about this, and I just was, to be honest, I was Googling it because I had a few ideas of a couple in my mind, and but I was like trying to figure out what else was out there, and I found a couple good ones that I didn't even realize. Right?
That's how good. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
how
Some
good
of
their
the,
second act was.
Some of my favorite are actually like in the golf world. So now he didn't actually get into any real trouble, but Phil Mickelson, he was sort of connected, sort of in trouble, potentially never gotten like arrested or anything for some insider trading stuff.
That's right.
He also was accused of laundering like almost $3 million through somebody for some like illegal gambling. We all know he's a gambler, right?
Huge gambler, yeah.
And he didn't. None of this affected his golf life, and nobody really. I mean, he didn't get arrested or anything. That's fine. But he's also like he is a big driver of what happened with Liv.
Yeah, he's
and
made even more money.
This stuff happened, and then he has brought about the biggest threat to the PGA, the biggest change in professional golf that I think anybody that's really ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, and he's I love Phil. Like he's a great personality.
Yeah.
He's great in social media and stuff, but I assume
might be kind of a douche, but
I think a lot of professional, especially
well,
these types of athletes, golfers especially, I would say.
Yeah.
But I would be surprised if he did not do the things he was accused of. The insider trading and the money the gambling thing. Like, call it money laundering, call it whatever you want. But I can almost guarantee he was involved in that illegal.
Maybe he
gambling.
threatened to take down Pelosi with him. Just let him go.
She's far and away, way in deeper than he is.
Yeah.
So some like other golfers. This is a recent one, and I don't even know like this. I hesitate to call this a second act because it's really not, but it's just an interesting deal. So Angel Cabrera did 30 months in prison in another country for domestic abuse, and he just got out like within the last year.
Really? I didn't
So maybe it might even be like the last 6 months. He's won the Masters before, and the president of the Masters or Augusta or whatever said, because if you win the Masters, you get to play in the Masters forever. So he's welcome back at the Champions Dinner and to play this year, and I'm pretty sure he said he is coming to play.
Is he bringing his wife?
I think it was his girlfriend. It was 2 prior girlfriends that accused him.
Jesus.
But it's crazy in this day and age that even like an old boys club like Augusta and the Masters wouldn't be like, hey, maybe you sit this year out, maybe next year, but maybe you sit this year out since it's just happened. No,
rules are rules. You get your dinner.
Dustin Johnson, not arrested, but suspended from the PGA for 6 months. Now they still deny that it was for drugs, but it was for drugs.
Yeah. What else?
It was failed drug tests, and it was likely cocaine. He's failed him for marijuana before, and then the
look
whole
at him.
hubbub
That guy does cocaine. You can just look at him.
Yeah.
And is he still with Gretzky's?
Yeah.
Didn't he like cheat on her? Is the rumor with another guy's wife on the tour? I think that was the.
Yeah, I think there was some rumors about that stuff. Like, there's always rumors about that kind of stuff on.
I mean, just to be accepted back from that.
Yeah, and like
wild.
the thing is, like, people love him. The other
like,
pro golfers love him, and he's a
top 5 athlete
kind of
you want to party with. I mean, I think.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's just some crazy parties, I would assume, especially, now he's got that live money. And then,
yeah, he's still doing cocaine, I bet.
Oh, yeah. I don't doubt it. There's no drug tests on Liv, I would assume.
No. It's probably why he left.
Might be. And then, I mean, the guy that has taken golf to where it is today, Tiger Woods.
Yeah, that was on mine.
I mean, like,
not that what he did was.
I mean, he's been arrested, but for DUI, but like, or ODUB, whatever you want to call it. But like, that wasn't the only time. He certainly should have. The man almost died in a car accident, and I don't care that they say that like it was high speed related. He was whacked out of his mind.
Well, yeah.
Just because it's it's prescription drugs that were prescribed to you does not mean that you get to, drive
go fast and furious.
150 miles an hour, or whatever it was around the corners in California. So,
and he banged every girl in the city.
Yeah, and then he just it's not illegal.
Not illegal.
But the man is.
But he went through a temporary time there where he was kind of. I feel like fans turned on him, but then he had the big comeback.
He moves the needle
and now
more than anybody else.
He does, and now you don't really think
people
about that with him.
People let him back in without a second thought, really.
Yeah,
which is surprising because to the outside world, golf is this uppity sport, right? And
yeah.
So that I got some more, but what other ones do you have? Those are all the golfers.
Lawrence Taylor, LT, did cocaine and had sex with a 16-year-old.
He admitted it.
And all you hear about him now is greatest defensive player of all time. You don't hear anything else.
Yeah.
The motherfucker was in Little Giants, for crying out loud.
He was in, wasn't he in Waterboy? Didn't he have a cameo in there?
Was it Waterboy? Longest Yard? I know he was. Right?
Where, I think he was in Waterboy. Where
yes, he was.
He's at the school, and it's that brings me to my next point.
Yeah, don't
do crack. Yeah, don't do drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy that they get to go on about a career and just move on. He's admitted to those crimes. It's just it's
the 16-year. I think that's way worse than the cocaine.
And I think from what I read, it wasn't just that. She was it was sex trafficking.
Yeesh.
Which is it's so much.
It's
the
thing
terrible,
to do now.
But it's just even worse,
Vince McMahon.
Yeah, that's oh god.
That's breaking today.
We'll see if he has a second act, and we'll have to do a part 2.
If you shit on a girl's face and name dildos after your WWF superstars, I don't know. Is there a second act? I mean,
all I can see right now is that meme of him where he's half cried and
I got on Twitter, people we got to stop using the Vince McMahon memes. No,
I'm gonna use them more.
We don't. I'm going to use them more, yes. Can you imagine him just pulling out a dildo and be like, here's the big show?
Problem is that I haven't watched WWE since I was, 12. So I don't know any of these people.
Oh, I assume he named he had to go with the classics. Here's Stone Cold.
It's cold.
It's cold. It's bald.
Here's the Hulk. Yeah. Hulk Hogan.
Rippled muscle, just ribbed all over.
Oh man.
The Undertaker. Yeah.
Razor Ramon. You don't want that one.
No. I mean, I got a good chuckle reading. I know I shouldn't chuckle about a trafficking case, but that was pretty funny.
Oh, we're not laughing at that.
The other stuff.
Oh,
but who else do I have? I had, here's one, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like his death, well, even before the death, he'd kind of already made his reclamation. But the whole Colorado thing.
Yeah, I was thinking about that one too.
Again, that's a case that part of me thinks he didn't she show up to his room and
you'll never know.
No, you won't
right?
know.
But
the
just
fact
won't
that
know, and but it does seem odd. You don't think that if Kobe doesn't strike me as a guy who would have any trouble
getting the lady,
pulling a piece of tail from almost anywhere. So surprising, but yes, that's allegations like that are hard to come back from, and
he
he's going down as
in a helicopter.
God, that is
maybe
it's not too soon, but it's terrible. I just mean as one of the greatest players to ever play the game,
without the asterisks of the whole
no one will ever question that.
No, you just mention his name and you just think the good things.
Unless you go to his Wikipedia page, you want to see
don't go.
About
yeah,
it
maybe don't go there.
Yeah, that's a good one. Sticking with basketball for a minute, I put this one on my list, but there's no crime here other than stupidity. Michael Jordan, like, was he on drugs to decide to go play baseball right in the middle of his prime? Or was there some other reason that...
Well, the whole conspiracy was the gambling.
Oh, was that the deal that, like,
That
the NBA was going to suspend him? And so
yeah, and so he just...
He retired and went and did that as a... Okay, that would make more sense.
I don't know. Now, that could be not true. That was right when his... If you want to go real deep in it, his dad was murdered, and they're wondering if that was connected to the payments that he owed.
There is a podcast about that murder, about that whole Michael Jordan scenario, and it is like one of the craziest stories I've ever heard.
Yeah, and that happened right around then.
But yeah, I mean, he's Michael freaking Jordan, and right in the middle of his prime, he goes and plays baseball very poorly, I might add.
Yeah, he missed 2 years of his prime?
Yeah, something like that. And then he came back and then he won 3 more. Yeah. I mean, what could he have done in those 2 years?
Could have done
another one?
8 in a row, or at least one more, probably, I would think.
Could have won them both years. Who knows?
Yeah, and his stats would have been even way higher. Yeah. That was weird.
How about Joe Mixon?
That's true. Yeah.
Guy's on video punching a chick in a bar in college.
Violently punching a chick. He followed through on that, and her head hit.
Yeah, I bet she was hungover for a couple days.
Did she get a payout?
Probably, I guess. I don't know.
And he did something this past off season with a gun.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, there it is.
And like we didn't even. I was like, it didn't go anywhere.
Nowhere. I was like, he's going to be suspended.
Craziest story.
Nothing happened. The dude's nuts.
Did you read anything about that story?
Refresh me on it.
It was something like the neighbor kid was playing like Nerf guns or something with another neighbor kid, and whether it was Joe Mixon or just somebody at Joe Mixon's house, but like they're firing off like automatic weapons at these kids. Like, what is wrong? Like, what in the CTE is wrong with these guys?
You want to take this Nerf battle up another notch?
I think that was like the excuse is that like they were like, oh, there was somebody we thought they had guns, and then like the neighbor's dad was like, no, they play
orange,
Nerf
and it shoots styrofoam.
You knew that they played that stuff out there all the time. What a story! It's just you just wonder about these guys.
And why did Goodell not do something about that? That's way worse than what he suspends some guys for.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like
Kamara beat up a drunk guy in Vegas, and he got 3 games. But shooting guns around children, I think, would be worse. I don't know.
I don't know if there was just no real evidence of what actually happened. You know, like whether or not Mixon was actually there or not. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not in Goodell's head. How about Adrian Peterson?
Yeah, APE.
You know, I don't know.
Beat the shit out of his kid with a.
Maybe his kid deserved it though.
Most kids do, but you know, you can't really.
How many kids deserve it and don't get it? any punishment?
Yeah,
But the man lost a season for that. And Joe Mixon's firing automatic weapons at kids, and
not even his.
Adrian Peterson gets a year for taking a switch to his kid's behind.
To one of his 12 kids. I mean, it's a numbers game. It's only one. Kid must have been a real asshole.
And he came back, and he had real good years after that.
Was he MVP after? Or maybe that was before, I guess.
Nah, I think that was the year. I mean, he had that knee injury that he came back from in like 12 days or something.
Had like 2,000 yards or something.
Yeah, and he went nuts.
Yeah. But that's a good one. I didn't even think of him. Yeah, because you just don't think of
there's
stories that go away.
Up. You just forget about it after they put on a good fantasy football deal for you. Brett Favre.
Oh yeah, the most egregious thing he did was jerking off in Crocs and sending it to a girl. But
man, he had addictions to alcohol and painkillers like throughout his prime.
And didn't he defraud a children's charity or something?
And that's after football, but yeah. But then he went to New York. He had the dick pic scandal, and then he went his last year. He's 40 years old in Minnesota, and he had a hell of a year, minus
One of his
the
best
end of
years. Yeah. God, that is a good one. Yeah, and the whole fraud thing, I know it's fairly recent, but you don't hear much about it anymore.
No. All you think about when you think about Brett Favre is some of the football highlights being a gunslinger, jeans.
I still
And,
think of the Crocs.
And the what was the he was a person that had the the copper lined sleeves for his knees.
Copper him and Jerry Rice. Yeah. And he was in Something About Mary too, I think.
Oh yeah. What other ones do you got?
I had it written down, but now I'm thinking about maybe he didn't totally come back from it. Darryl Strawberry?
Yeah, I saw him on some stuff.
He used to have sex with fans in the dugout.
Yeah, whether or not that's a second act story or not, his
I feel like he's clean now. Didn't he get
baseball players from that era? It was a totally different world, man.
Yeah.
And it goes back. Maybe some of this stuff happens today. I don't know, but
I doubt it with the social. Although
yeah, that's true. But yeah, those guys in those days, like Darryl Strawberry, man, he was big into the drugs during his career. Yeah, and
not the steroids, just real drugs.
Yeah, hard drugs.
But yeah, he was a menace. But I think I actually had to look up, make sure he's not dead. But he's not. He's just.
He would have been a good one for the Deadpool.
He would have. But like I said, I think he's clean now. He could. I don't know.
Stuff sticks with you though.
And then on a much smaller scale, this guy probably not even known to a lot of people, but Nate Newton of the Dallas Cowboys, part of that dominant O-line back in the day. He drug smuggled numerous pounds of cocaine, and
What?
you didn't hear? Yeah, and now he's got a nice cushy job with the DallasCowboys.com website, just breaking down film.
Nice.
And nobody seems to think about that.
What did I don't have this one written down, and I didn't do any research. What did Darren Waller do? Didn't he get into some trouble?
He's kind of gone a little CT crazy this offseason, but before that, he was into heroin.
Before he blew up in the NFL, right?
Yeah, that's why he went either undrafted or very late, because he was like a reclamation project.
Yeah, see, I thought I remember because his days in Oakland, that was all the rage. Was like, hey, this guy had a big breakout season, and it's a revival story.
Yeah, he's getting a little weird again though. Like he's doing these weird TikToks and.
Oh, God.
I don't know. The big one we haven't mentioned is the legend Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that one is crazy. Because as much as, he did time. He came back and boxed.
Did some movies.
But he was, even, I don't know. He's just a crazy person.
He
For
is.
the amount of shit that he's pulled in his life, and to have still come out on top
Or not be
is
dead.
insane.
Yeah.
I mean, he went to jail for rape, but
5 years, wasn't it?
it was years. I don't know if it was 5, but I mean, he's probably guilty of a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And then he bit another boxer's ear off. Mm-hmm. It's just crazy. And now he's out there.
Yeah,
he's done movies and
threatened to eat someone's children.
One of the greatest quotes of all time.
Box with herpes, or what was it? Some kind of STD.
I don't know.
Anthony's favorite human alive.
He's a good. I mean,
he's a good dude.
That's what I was gonna say, but I don't.
Well, he does. If you see his interviews recently, he does kind of seem like a decent dude.
I don't mean a good dude. I'd probably be scared shitless around him.
Oh, you feel like he'd just snap at any minute.
I just mean that you see him in these movies and things, and it's hard to believe that he was ever, what he was. I mean, he came up on another episode where we were talking about, and he threatened one of his handlers or something, right?
Oh, Teddy Atlas is.
Yeah. Or no, Teddy Atlas.
He made a move on Teddy Atlas's daughter or niece, and Teddy Atlas put a gun in his head.
Yes.
And said he'd blow his head off or something crazy.
He's just, it's just crazy.
Yeah. And then O.J. Simpson. No, I'm kidding.
His second act. He's great on Twitter. I did have a couple more.
That's right when he said he went crazy with COVID, not being able to golf, and somebody's like,
God,
how crazy, OJ?
He does that. He's just baiting.
He is, but he's a piece of shit.
He knows what he's doing. I didn't know this, but Cristiano Ronaldo, the soccer player dude.
I thought he was clean.
He had a rape
Whoa.
charge, a rape accusation that he settled. He paid them off.
Time out. I don't believe he did that. Have you seen that guy?
That's a good point, right?
I mean,
but I guess it was like
he might have just paid her just to not deal with it.
That's possible. She came forward like 10 years after it happened, and I think he just paid her.
He had someone. I bet he just didn't want to go through it.
And then one of the most obscure ones that I found.
We should say we were raped by Ronaldo.
The only way this podcast is going to make any money.
His fake rape allegations.
I didn't know this, but Andre Agassi, the tennis star.
A drunk, wasn't he?
No, he was really big tennis star in the early 90s.
I remember he had the long hair.
He got into meth.
Oh, I did not know that.
Meth. You don't come back from meth.
He did.
The guy comes back from meth, and then he goes on to win like 5 of his 8 Grand Slams after meth, post-meth.
Was he on meth during the match? Maybe.
You don't get tired. How you have the energy for tennis otherwise. Do you and David do meth in your tennis matches?
I'm going to. Tell you what, David needs meth if he wants to beat me ever. That's the key.
Oh, man.
That could be a performance-enhancing drug in tennis.
It was just fun, like, going back and reading about some of this stuff. It's hard to find information on the ones with, like, criminal stories and stuff. It's just, like, you put it in Google, and they just give you a bunch of other crap.
I know.
But it was interesting to go back through some of this stuff.
Let me see.
Michael
Irvin.
Yeah. Yeah, he do a bunch of drugs.
Tons and
piles of cocaine.
Numerous sexual assault allegations. And he's still on NFL Network, I believe.
Yeah.
I love Mike, though, man.
Barkley, we're sitting here watching.
I thought about him. He threw a guy through a window or something.
Yeah, he got he also got arrested for like a DUI at one point.
That's
I think.
Right. Yeah, so there is more than you.
I did.
Imagine.
So like some of the stuff about that weren't like crime related. Like one of the best ones that I read was Randy Johnson, Hall of Fame pitcher, guy.
Slender man.
Guy once destroyed a bird with a pitch.
That's right.
Yeah, guess what he does now?
I heard this. I can't remember.
He's a photographer.
Yeah.
Like they show a picture
of him. I was
him.
going to say gym teacher, but yeah.
And he's like sitting there with the camera, like taking pictures. Like, could you imagine that gangly dude? Like, and it's not even just sports.
No. He could hit some great angles with how tall he is, though.
He just gets above everybody else. I thought that was hilarious. Oh man, there was a few others that were pretty funny, but
if we're doing Kane from the WWF is now the mayor in Tennessee.
Oh, that is hilarious.
He was in Iowa recently, caucusing actually. But I know there's more we're probably not thinking of, but.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there are. Probably plenty we haven't heard of.
Yeah.
You know?
Jason Kidd is actually... Is he coaching in the league now? He was with Dallas, but he had a lot of assaults and DUIs and drugs.
Yeah, well, it's really hard to find people that come back from it is the problem. Like, there's plenty of stories of people just being...
But, I mean, he came back. He's Hall of Fame.
Criminals, you know.
Coach and...
Yeah.
The story was at Cal. When he was in Cal, he got in an accident with his friends, drunk. And he just could tell the car just starts walking home. And they're like, where are you going? He just didn't say. He just kept walking. Just left. And, like, no punishment, really.
Wow. Not criminal, but Patrick Reed came up in some of my research. Guy's been a cheater his whole life.
Guy's a dick.
Never been arrested for anything, but he's won majors. He's had prominent roles on like Ryder Cups and President Cups, and got a bag from Liv. He in college, the guy got kicked out of Georgia. I'm pretty sure he was kicked out. Didn't just leave under odd terms, but like he supposedly, he straight up stole from his teammates, like
That's
a wad of
right.
cash, like a watch, something else. He's been accused of cheating at every level.
Just a shitty person. I mean,
Usually, like a sport like golf, it's hard to come back from like a cheating scandal.
yeah.
Because you just that's like one of the biggest things of the game is like it's a game of honor and you call penalties on yourself. The guy has just been accused at both colleges he was at and multiple times on tour about cheating.
I did see his recent story about his car that he
Yeah.
got pimped out after the Masters.
Yeah, he won a Masters and he
It's like a
bought
Bentley or something.
he
or-
bought a Porsche.
Porsche. Yeah.
I can't remember what kind of Porsche, some fancy Porsche.
Same color as the jacket.
Yeah, it was green and yellow, Masters themed. They only made a couple hundred
It
of these
was
Porsche.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
But it showed up in like
Showed up on a salvage lot.
Yeah.
With like 370 miles on the odometer. Just absolutely shredded. Total doesn't even do it justice.
What was it stolen then? Like what?
No, if I had to guess, him or one of his friends wrecked it and got lucky and walked away.
Oh man, yeah.
And then, he was able to keep it quiet, and they just told it out, and I don't know.
Yeah, he's just kind of. He's got a punchable face too.
Yeah, he's got a punchable personality. Can we talk about the Caucus?
You want to talk cock?
We have a someone in the midst right now who has been a part of the political process here in Iowa.
Yes,
I've never caucused.
I had never. I just wanted to see what it was like, and I was trying to recoup from the Dallas loss. Wanted to do something
Yeah.
pretty boring, honestly. But there was a fight that broke out at.
Really?
I don't know. Did we get? It was a guy that was talking for Trump.
But like an actual like fist fight?
It would have gotten there, I think.
Wow.
He's in Texas. What is he, a senator or something? I think. And he actually put it on his Twitter about how things got out of control at this caucus.
At your caucus?
Yeah. He was he was stumping for Trump, saying,
And so he was there. He was there
Right.
to
A caucus
speak on
is-
behalf of Trump.
right. And there's a guy for DeSantis, a guy for Haley, a guy for Vivek. Mm-hmm. This was the guy for Trump, and he is already an elected official in Texas.
Yeah.
Pretty Wesley Hunt, his name is. Oh, he was saying something about how things were better under Trump with the black unemployment stuff like that, and
Yeah.
And I noticed right about a minute into his speech, this guy in the front row, a large gentleman, large black guy, just walked out. And I'm thinking, oh, he must hate Trump or something. He just want to hear this guy talk.
Yeah.
Because it was like kind of rude. Like he just abruptly got up in the middle of the speech. And then a minute later, he comes back, this guy, through the doors, starts shouting, "How can you support, as a black man, Donald Trump?" And he started getting closer and closer and closer. And finally, people from the audience came and held him back. He just kept storming through. He was a big dude. And he got within 5 feet of the Wesley Hunt. And finally, 3 more came and literally tackled him and pushed him in the face. Cops were called. The entire city cops showed up, arrested him. And some fireworks. It was fun.
I don't understand how people can get that worked up about.
Well, don't come. You obviously there's going to be talking about each candidate.
It is a Republican
Exactly.
caucus.
Yeah, I don't
And-
even know if this guy was. I don't think he was for Haley. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he was just there to
Looking
talk.
for a fight,
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, that's what I think. But what surprised me is that not everybody gets. This guy didn't have Secret Service. I just assumed
No, I think you got to be
high up.
pretty high up.
He just had his photographer with him and one other, and they weren't. One guy was filming it, the photographer.
Yeah, I don't know if you get Secret Service until you're like the vice president.
Okay.
I think we're talking White House then.
But I could tell this guy was. I actually Googled him because I'm like, he looks important. This Wesley Hunt, because he kind of looks like a gangster, great suit, trench coat. So I knew he was not just a normal caucus goer. But
that's crazy.
I was able to shake his hand afterward. I said, "That was wild." He says, "I'm used to the crazy. It's fine. We're good." Nice guy, very nice. But
we shouldn't. Like, there's crazy on every side.
Yeah,
and it's really unnecessary.
Well, I don't know what he was going to accomplish. Like,
he's trying to.
You're not changing anyone's mind. You're not going to.
15 minutes of fame.
Yeah, I guess. And it did make Twitter. I'm like, I was sitting there with my neighbor. I'm like, we were right in the lineup. I'm like, this guy gonna pull a gun or something? Like, we were. A little nerve wracking, but it was.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, it's not out of the. It's out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks that you have to go there, but
yeah,
you know, it wouldn't. It would not.
Well, yeah, because there was no we didn't.
It wouldn't have shocked me.
No, like we didn't go through any detector or anything. You just walked in and showed your ID and.
You know, you think about it. It's actually amazing that you don't hear stories about that,
especially with. Like I said, no
crazy,
protection around.
Yeah, and, you know, there's just nuts on both sides.
Yeah.
You know, like, because you don't have to, like, what to go caucus for the Republicans, right? Like, it's not like you had to prove that you're a Republican, I would assume.
I know not in, like, New Hampshire you didn't have to, because they had a lot of Democrats voting in it just to go against Trump, I know. Here, though, we did show an ID.
They checked to see if you're a registered voter.
Yeah, so that guy must have been a registered. I don't think he would have gotten in, so maybe he was, I guess,
maybe.
Thinking about it.
Not that you couldn't just register as a Republican
ahead of time.
Because it doesn't matter which party you register for, you can vote for whoever you want when it comes time.
Right. So that was a fun first experience.
Yeah, I've never done
that. That made it more lively. Other than that, it was a few yahoos just talking. I mean,
so how's the voting work? So like you just go.
So easy.
You just kind of walk towards. They have like a section for each candidate.
They literally handed us a piece of paper when we walked in, like we do fantasy football drafting, just like a ripped piece of paper. You just write, DeSantis, Trump, whoever, with a pen. They fold it up, and we just put it in a Hy-Vee sack.
I thought
and then they counted it right there.
For some reason, I was thinking that they would do, like, all right, everybody get up, and if you're for Trump, you go over here. If you're for DeSantis, you go over here.
Yeah, no.
And then you would just be able to see. But I guess maybe they don't want to do.
No, if you wanted to talk on the behalf of a candidate, they said, DeSantis speakers here, Vivek here, Trump here. Haley
so you could have went and talked.
Yeah, they're like, does anybody else want to? My neighbor was hitting me like, get up there.
Why didn't you get up there and go and say, hey guys, I really want you to vote for Trump, but I also want you to check out the Soft Knocks podcast.
I should have worn my shirt.
Yes.
I should have told Wesley Hunt about it.
Yes. Yes.
You're right. Missed opportunity. But it was fun. It was just at a high school gymnasium or a middle school gymnasium.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you knew the vote right there when you left, like it should be.
Yeah.
There was
that's cool.
There was no ballot dumps. We just knew what happened.
Yeah, I've never done it. I've never even come close to even, thinking about doing it really.
Like I said, my neighbor asked, and I'd be like, what the hell? Let's try it. See what's up.
I don't pay attention to the politics, like the news and stuff, because it's just all the same anymore.
I went more for just to see what it was.
No, I get it. It's probably a good experience to go to.
I did, because I didn't really understand what a caucus was. It's just a cool name.
Y'all caucus.